Hey everyone. Um, to those of you who are still wondering if it'll ever happen, or some of you think it'll probably never happen, a Van Halen actual, maybe it's a tribute, maybe it's a send off, I don't know. Um, Maybe it's a reunion in some way, but I mean, I would love to see it. Even though, yeah, Dave can't really sing certain stuff. He could do some stuff, maybe more mellow stuff, or like something that's not really high pitched too much anymore. And I don't not no backup singers for him, no backup all that other stuff. Just plain and simple Dave and Sammy. Put the junk aside. Of course, you got people that are going to sit there and say, "Oh, well, I don't know because after what Sammy did with the whole book thing, and I don't want to hear about the book about Sammy thing." But the Red Uncensored Life, whatever you want to call it, because he told the truth about the Van Halen stuff. He's not the one that took shots first. The ones that took shots first were the brothers. First, they kicked Dave out of the band, and then they kicked Sammy out of the band. They didn't quit. They were kicked, they were fired pretty much. That was the first shot taken. Because every time they fired somebody out of the band, first it was Dave, then they were griping, Eddie and Alex saying about, oh, how Dave wanted to be a movie. He wanted to be a movie star. He wanted, he wanted to be a Hollywood star. Whatever it was, they were, uh, you know, wording it. Um, and don't forget, Dave was also a solo artist too, not just Sammy. So if you hear me sniffling and stuff, whatever right now, it's the allergies. I don't know if it's pollen or what it is outside, but trying to do my thing in my vehicle with the windows closed. Because I'm around like that kind of stuff. But anyway, um, the bottom line is Sammy and Dave are both solo artists. They both did music. You can't say just because they were in Van Halen that they didn't have a career. They both had careers regardless of Van Halen. So, Sammy was already big before before Van Halen even came out, even with Dave or before Dave. Sammy was already doing stuff. He was already doing music stuff. It was I forget what he called the band. There was some kind of mixed I don't know, like different people that did some kind of band or something that Sammy mentioned years ago in the 60s, I think it was, or something. Maybe it was mid or late 60s or somewhere around there. Anyway, he was already dabbing in music. So I'm tired of hearing about the whole Van Halen thing that, oh, well, Sammy didn't become something until he joined Van Halen. That's not true. He was already something before Van Halen. When he did his first solo act, before or after that, whatever band it was that he put together or came together with whomever, then he was doing his own little stuff. And then next thing you know, Montrose recruited Sammy. Then he was with Montrose. And we know the story about the Montrose thing, how Ronnie Montrose was just all over the board sometimes, and for whatever reason they did I think they did great music together, but it didn't last because of Ronnie Montrose. Maybe I forget what it was that happened, but he had some issues there. He had some demons. And then next thing you know, after the Montrose thing, Sammy's doing his solo thing, selling out arenas before Van Halen. Selling out arenas. Or stadiums or whatever you call it. And then next thing you know, now whether Dave quit or got fired the first time, no matter what happened with that, they lost their singer, frontman. Eddie called Sammy. Sammy didn't call Eddie. Eddie went to he was getting his car worked on. Same place Sammy was getting his car worked on. Claudio told Eddie, hey, what's wrong? What's going on? And Eddie said, oh, man, we're bummed. We just lost our singer and all that jazz. Claudio gives Eddie Sammy's number. Eddie calls Sammy. That's where it started. So when people sit there and try to criticize Sammy and say, oh, Sammy, when he joined them, it become more pop and keyboards, and no. Eddie's been doing keyboard piano stuff almost all his life. So don't even try that. Try to say Sammy's why Van Halen went the way it did. No. All Sammy did was add vocals. So I don't want to hear it became poppy, it became modern, this, that, whatever. That's wrong. In all reality, at the end of the day, Sammy and Dave aren't really that much far apart in style. I'll give you an example. How people have said over the years that Dave is the guy with the bleached blonde hair and long hair and spandex and all that kind of stuff. Sammy did it too. The difference between the two is Sammy didn't have to bleach his hair. He was already just naturally blonde, or whatever you call it. He was already natural. But Sammy wore spandex too. He wore tight stuff, all that stuff, even before Van Halen. He did it with the, what's it called, concerts, when he was wearing all that red. There was leather or spandex or whatever it may be. It was, doesn't matter whether you call it spandex or tights or whatever you want to call it. It was tight clothes. They all did it. Sammy did it. Dave did it. Eddie was usually the one wearing the jeans or the cut jeans, like knees and stuff. There were times where he would dress almost like the singer, whether it was Dave or Sammy too. But Eddie was more of like a jeans guy kind of thing. So, but the bottom line is, when people say it'll probably never happen, never say never. If Alex would just get over it, Eddie and Sammy buried the hatchet before Eddie passed. If you don't believe that story, then something's wrong with you. You're not that much of a Van Halen fan if you don't believe that story. Sammy doesn't make up stuff like that. He doesn't do that. He would never do that. They were all like brothers. Eddie and Alex said it themselves when Sammy joined the band the first time. In 86, I think it was called Unearthed, or I don't remember what the name of the interview was, or Monsters of Rock, or whatever it was. Eddie and Alex were both sitting there saying, oh, since we recruited Sammy, we're more of a band. Like we're like equals. We're brothers. They never said that about Dave. Never. So they know it's true that Sammy was more of an equal. Sammy never belittled the band, Eddie, Alex, or Mike, or anybody. He would never do that. He never belittled them. That's what Dave did. Now, I'm not trying to sit there and take shots at Dave, because I'm not. I'm just telling the truth about the history, about the past. That's all. Because Dave is a awesome vocalist, frontman, whatever, or was. Can he still do some stuff? Yeah, it depends what it is. Some say, oh, he can't sing anymore. He can. It's the mellow stuff he can do. The heavy stuff, no, forget it. But the way that it needs to happen, the best way, and I'm tired of hearing, oh, the real Van Halen was 70, what is it, 74 to 84, or whatever was it they say? No, it wasn't. All of the years of Van Halen is the best. All of it. Gary's stuff was okay. I like that song Without You and Fire in the Hole. That's good stuff. Some of the other ones I'm like, I don't know. I'm not really, I don't know. But it wasn't Gary's fault. He was like the guy in the middle. First Dave, and then Sammy. And then Gary was in the middle, like, after them two. When Sammy and Dave had an actual reunion with Van Halen, though Gary only had, like, what, a year or two with them, they never had a reunion with Gary. I don't know if you would consider it anyway, because he wasn't really with them that long. But the bottom line is, Sammy and Dave can do it. They can share the stage together. They're just stubborn. It's not Sammy, it's not Dave, it's both. I mean, Sammy, I believe Sammy when he says he will do it, but it has to be the right situation. So, I know he would do it. He tried to do it to Hagar Off Tour, 2002. He tried to go to Dave's door almost every other night. Dave, let's go. Come on out. Let's jam. And Dave wouldn't do it. So, the bottom line is, they can coexist. Because when they first started the Hagar Roth tour, they did the whole Stern thing, Howard Stern, which was stupid. Because Howard Stern instigated them to. I was never really a fan of him. Was never really a fan of him. Because that's what he do. That's what he does. He creates drama. But they can coexist. And keep in mind, the Hagar Roth tour wasn't Sammy's idea. It was Dave's. Dave had his guys call Sammy up and say, you know what? After we were through with the Van Halen brothers, let's prove that we can work together. That's basically what was Dave's idea. Now, I don't know if he did it because of a publicity thing, or maybe he was genuine about it. Maybe he really wanted to do it. I really believe if it wasn't for Howard Stern, they would have did it. It would have been better. All Howard Stern did was instigate them too. Dave was in the studio, Sammy was on the phone, and all Howard Stern is sitting there doing is saying, well, Sammy says he's going to blow you off the stage, Dave, or Dave's going to this, that, whatever with Sammy. Like that he's an instigator. That's the facts. He pretty much made them two have a beef. When they were trying to get over their old beef. They were trying to settle it. And Howard Stern just sparked it up. Which is sort of what happened when Sammy and Eddie were finally getting along. Well, when their manager died and the new one came along, they instigated the thing between Sammy and Eddie. Like there was always somebody there to stir the pot. And that's messed up because I don't care whether you're a Dave or Sammy fan. Van Halen was awesome with Dave and Sammy both. Am I more of a Hagar fan? Yeah. But it was great with both. And Alex knows that. And for him to not include the thing about the 5150 anniversary, that's wrong. I mean, I could say so much right now with that. I don't care whether you were a fan of the Hagar years or not. I don't care. You cannot sit there and say that you didn't like at least some of it. You cannot. Otherwise, you're in denial. When Sammy came along after Dave was gone, you people, you Roth people cannot sit there and say you didn't go or you didn't see it. You were waiting for something cool to happen. And you can't say you didn't like it, because you did. The only reason why you say you didn't like it is when after Sammy was kicked out and Dave was brought back. Then you started saying you didn't like the Hagar years. Don't be foolish. Don't be ridiculous. Don't be lying about it, because you know what I just said is true. You can't say you didn't like any of it, because that is BS, and you know it. The only reason why you say the Hagar Roth years, the Hagar stuff, the only reason why you're going to be critical of it is because Dave came back. What if Dave never came back to Van Halen and Sammy was still with them to this day? And you cannot, I don't care what you say, number ones do mean something. Every Van Halen Hagar album went number one. Why didn't it go number one with Dave? Why didn't it? And then some of you will say, well, Ted Templeman said he made the right choice by not putting Sammy in there in the 70s instead of Dave. I call BS on that too, because I'm going to tell you right now, if Sammy comes in and they get all number one albums, if it would have been Sammy to begin with, I think they would have had number one albums then too, to start off with. So you can spin it around all you want. You can make all these different versions of it all you want, whatever way you want to put it, but that's the facts. They would have had number one albums before 86 if it was with Sammy. And the thing with Sammy is, if he thought that Dave wasn't that great and the Van Halen years with Dave wasn't that great, he wouldn't have performed the Dave stuff. He could do both. He did his stuff and Dave's stuff. And solo stuff. A few here and there. But he mostly did Sammy and Dave Van Halen songs. Because he can do it. Because he's got that vocal range. Dave could not. I'm not saying he might not have been able to do some of it, because maybe he could. He never tried. There's nothing wrong with doing the Hagar ones too. But you want to be all about you, that's your choice. Because when you're selfish, you don't get far. And that's why that so-called tribute, whatever it was supposed to be, with Newstead and Mike, and that's why it didn't work. Because Alex was trying to get Dave back to do that, and it didn't work. You know why? Because of their history. If Alex called Sammy right now, he would do it. I know he would. Because Sammy is dedicated to music. That's why he showed up at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, him and Mike. and nobody else did. I don't want to hear Sammy wasn't a real Van Halen, because he was, and Mike was too. Because they showed up. Whenever they said they would be there, they were there. But anyway, they can do it. They can do an actual, real tribute, send-off, whatever it is you want to call it. It needs to be done. Because it has not been really authentically or officially done yet. Just because there was a Taylor Hawkins thing with David Grohl, or however you say his name, and Wolfgang played a couple of V8 songs, that's not a tribute. That's something at somebody else's tribute. That was a Taylor Hawkins tribute. That's what that was. The best way to go is Sammy, Dave, Mike, Alex, maybe throw Wolfie in there, maybe get a guitar player or two or somebody that were good friends with Eddie, Alex, Sammy, Dave, whatever, or just somebody that was around that time, around them. Make it happen. Maybe 2 shows. Record the thing, put it on a Blu-ray or something, sell shirts, like do a whole big slew of a thing. And that is the best way to do it. And then leave it be. Just to close it out for an Eddie and Van Halen all-in-one tribute / send-off, whatever you want to call it. I mean, I just saw a video of Eddie Trunk interviewing Newsted, and Newsted said that he thinks the best way to do it is, if it's a tribute to Eddie, it needs to be its own separate thing, like a bunch of guitar players, musicians, or whatever, do a bunch of riffs or solo, I mean, whatever it is, play and do a thing to Eddie. That's cool and all. But I think it needs to be all in one show. Van Halen / Eddie Van Halen thing, all in one. Just bring a bunch of people together. Involve Sammy and Dave, no matter what. No matter what, involve them both. And Alex and Mike, maybe Wolfie. Maybe get 1 or 2 other musicians, whoever. Maybe Joe Satch, maybe Steve Vai, maybe both. Who knows? Regardless, the best thing is bring all surviving members together. Put the nonsense aside. I don't want to hear who's better at this and who's that. I don't want to hear all that nonsense. I might be more of a Hagar fan, but I want to see the whole thing. Sammy and Dave both. No, none of this Dave dancing around talking through a song. Just sing the song. The ones that he can do. If he has to just do Pretty Woman and Secrets, or those kind of songs that are mellow, to do them. Just do it. And then let Sammy do some, whatever. If need, bring Gary in, which, I mean, the rightful thing is Sammy and Dave. And Wolfie can sing. In his band, he could sing. So maybe let him sing some songs. Who knows? But it needs to be the proper way. I don't want to hear, oh, only Dave should do it and that's it, and go off the first album. No. All albums, all of them. Roth / Hagar and all Van Halen material. Do it. Do maybe a 2 or 3 show weekend or something, or maybe a small tour, not a big thing. Maybe have like a few handful of shows in a month or two and end it. Yeah, they were saying maybe have a 2-night thing, and no, I don't think 2 nights is enough. Do just like a small tour. Do like, 1 night, do some Stammy stuff. 1 night, do some Dave stuff. And then the following 1 or 2 nights, do next week or whatever, do the same thing, just switch them the other way. Almost like one's opening for the other one's closing for the other, like kind of thing. Or just have them all just do all one big show, but do like a few handful of dates. Go to PA, go to Florida, go to where. It's got to be somewhere in between to where people can actually be able to go. I say do one big show, do a few handfuls of that show, and then let it rest. That would be the proper tribute / send off, somewhat reunion, but it's not a reunion without Eddie. It can't be. It can happen. The only missing piece of that band is Eddie. And he's got his son. So Wolfie can play the guitar. He said he don't want to do it, but you know what? If he cares, he'll do it. If he cares, if he gives that much about his father and that band to do the right thing, he will do it. Otherwise, it's a disrespectful thing. I'm not saying, yeah, Wolfie's doing his own thing. That's great. I'm all for that. The Mammoth thing, that's great. Nothing wrong with it. But he learned his stuff from his dad. If it wasn't for his dad, where would he be? It needs to be proper. It needs to be the right thing, the right way. The right way is not with just Dave. No. I don't care that Dave was not first in with that band. If you think about it, he was brought in after they tried out some stuff. And then they brought Dave in his early years, and then they took off with him. A lot of great music with Dave, a lot of great music with Sammy, a little bit of stuff with Gary, but the best way is Dave and Sammy both. Not one, both. I don't care that you're more of one fan of the one era or the other. You cannot sit there and say when Sammy came along, when they lost Dave in 85, you can't say you weren't waiting for something cool to happen, and you experienced the cool thing that happened with Sammy. If you say you didn't like that, you're a liar. You're in denial. The only reason why you would say the Hagar years didn't work is because Dave came back. The band is why Dave went out. The band is why Sammy went out. It's not Dave's fault. It's not Sammy's fault. It's Eddie and Alex. They're the ones that brought Mike in. They're the ones that canned Mike. They're the ones that canned Dave. They're the ones that canned Sammy. And what happened with the Gary Cherone thing anyway? Why didn't they continue with him? He was another one out the door. Whether it was just a let go thing, or a firing thing, or a quitting thing, whatever. That was their third singer. Didn't work. There you go. There's your answer with that. That's the answer why they couldn't keep somebody. It was the brothers. It's not Sammy's fault, and it's not Dave's fault. And if they had something to say about something, they have every right. Because how they were kicked out of that band. Sammy wrote a book after they already did they did the damage. They did it. They're the ones that did the damage. They took shots at Dave first, and then shots at Sammy. And then Sammy wrote the book. There's nothing wrong with that. All he did was write a book about the truth. And it was a #1 bestseller. Because if it wasn't, it wouldn't have been #1. Hey, just like every Van Hagar album went #1. Well, Sammy's book went #1. Space Between. The Sammy and Friends album went #1. All these things going #1 with Sammy. He's got to be doing something right. And I'm not knocking the Dave stuff at all, because I'm not. Because his stuff was great. I love some of his solo stuff, too. When we used to be able to burn a CD, the first times, there was times where I would put Sammy and Dave solo songs on one CD. Both of their stuff, because I liked them both. And the VH stuff, too. I'll put some Dave stuff on there, Sammy stuff. I would randomize them so I don't just hear too many of the one and then too many of the other. I would mix it up. But that's the proper way. Sammy and Dave together as one. Not one, not the other. Both. Because they were both successful with that band. And I'm tired of hearing, oh, the first 6-pack was the greatest. Well, if Sammy had 6 albums with them too, that'd be a different story. Then you can compare. But you can't. I don't care that the first album is still selling more than something. I don't care. It's because there's 1 or 2 more albums with the Dave years than with Sammy. So you cannot compare. You can't. Now, if there was 6 VH albums with Sammy and 6 with Dave, then you could say, oh, well, you know what? These ones are either better, or you can't do that. Because if Dave's stuff was meant to be, that would have been #1 too. Jump, the song. The only thing that went #1 was Jump. A song, not an album, a song of the Rothiers, Van Halen. Now, every album with Sammy and Van Halen went #1. The album, not song, album. Do I think some of the Dave stuff should have been #1? Yes, I do. Just like some of his solo songs. I think some of his solo songs could have been #1. But it wasn't. Just like Paradise, I think it's a great song. Yankee Rose, great song. Knuckle Bones, I love that song. I could go on and on and on. There's some Sammy songs I think should have been #1. There's some that didn't, that should have. But the album with is it Sammy and Friends or whatever? The Space Between album went #1. I think it was only for 3-4 weeks, maybe a month, I don't know. But it still did. It went #1. That went #1. 5150 went #1. For Unlawful Carnal Knowledge went #1. OU812 went #1. Balance went #1. Plus triple platinum. There you go. It's cool that Jump is still #1. I mean, went #1. I don't know if it still is, but it's great that it did, because I think it's a great song. There's other Dave songs in Van Halen I think should have been number one. Unchained was awesome. Hear about it later. The Diary Down album, I don't know, because there was more covers on there. Maybe little guitars or I don't Secrets. Even though it was a mellow song, I liked Secrets. But I mean, there's plenty I could say that should have been number one. Some Dave stuff. Maybe Lost of Control. Maybe some other ones too. But anyway, so I don't want to get off subject or off focus of what I'm talking about here. Bottom line is, it can happen. If you really want a tribute to happen, it's got to be the proper way, the proper setting. That's Sammy and Dave both, not just one. If you're only going to sit there and say Dave and not Sammy, or Sammy and not Dave, then it's not the right situation. It's not. It needs to be both. Sammy and Dave need to share the stage with Alex, Mike, maybe throw Wolfie in there, and one or two other musicians, guitar players, whatever, that were friends or co-workers, whatever you want to call them. I mean, that knew the material. Have a few handful of shows, big shows, some T-shirts with everything on it. Sammy and Dave both on the shirt with the whole band. Eddie in the middle, maybe. Like they're all surrounding a picture of Eddie in the middle. This is for Eddie and the Van Halen band. That's how you create that kind of shirt. You have Sammy and Dave together, like here and here. Eddie in the middle. Alex maybe on the bottom under Eddie because he's the drummer. Throw Wolf and Mike or whatever on the sides or something. A whole big Van Halen, all in one nutshell thing, design. Front and back. Maybe even do some new music with both of them. If there's little clips of something, riffs or whatever, guitar pieces of Eddie still in that vault. I mean, I know there still is. Have Sammy and Dave record their vocals on those. Make a CD or album, whatever you want to call it, so that they're both finally on something together. And leave it at that. Do all that stuff with merchandise, a Blu-ray, do like a 3 or 4 set Blu-ray thing. The first one is that tour, whatever it is, with all them. And then maybe on a second, third one, fourth one, throw some unreleased stuff on there. Throw some old Dave concerts, some old Sammy concerts with them. Throw the music videos on there, all the videos ever. I mean, you could really, really, really make this big thing happen. Yeah, it's wishful thinking. It can happen. The two that it's up to isn't just Alex. Wolfie and Alex can talk and say, let's talk to Sammy, let's talk to Dave, let's talk to Mike. Get everybody involved. Let's do this before we can't. And then call it a day. That's the proper way. There's no other way. They all got to be together. Sammy, Dave, Alex, Mike, Wolfie. And then you call it a day. All the big merchandise pop thing for it. Get it all done. All blown up on the shirts and everything. Merchandise, bumper stickers, like the old days. And do a little tour, maybe about a month or so. Do somewhere in this state, somewhere in that state, somewhere in that state. so that people can, from different parts of the area or different parts of the country or whatever you want to call it, can try to make it there. And be done with it then. And that would be the right way to do it, the right thing. Then we could say Sammy and Dave, Alex, Mike, Wolfie, all did something together. And if Wolfie don't do it, whatever. Then you don't want to do something you don't want to have something to do with that his dad was a part of, then that's on him. That's the problem with when some people are at a young age. They want things a certain way. That's what it is. When people are at a young age, not all, but most, it seems like when some young kid that's in his 20s, 30s, maybe whatever, they want things a certain way. They don't want to sit there and say, "Oh, I'll do what my dad or my mom did." No, they want I want what I want. That's what that is. It's ego. Wolfie is ego. And I'm not saying anything wrong with it because a lot of people have done it at that age. I mean, I never did. I would never be that way, and I wasn't. I know others that were. But that's the best way to do it. Get them all together, do a whole big slew of thing, do a whole somewhat tour, not a big thing. Throw a bunch of merchandise, get them all together, all record something together, get some stuff in the vault in the unreleased area of Eddie's bits and pieces of guitar stuff, make an album out of it. And that would be the greatest send-off / tribute, whatever you want to call it, to Eddie and the Van Halen legacy. Till next time, guys, got some more stuff coming your way. And the best way to know and when it happens is subscribe. So like this video, share this video, make it go viral. Drop your comment. I say it almost all the time. Any ignorant comments, anything ridiculous, will be deleted and blocked. I don't want to hear stupid things like, how can you say that? Or how do you think it should be this? Or why would you say that about this one and that one? Or I don't want to hear no nonsense. Be a human being. If you're all for this to happen, you will drop a comment of your honest opinion and how it can happen. That's the best way. I don't want to hear, oh, it's only got to be Dave. No. Delete. It's got to involve both Sammy and Dave, both. I don't care who came in first, who came in last. I don't care. Dave wasn't the first actual singer with them. They tried different people. Even though it worked with Dave, but that's how it goes. And then Sammy came along. So they have two great singers, two great frontmen that made a success out of that band. Not their band, not Sammy and Dave's band, Eddie's band. They made Eddie's band great. Just like Sammy and Dave, they made their solo albums great. And then you just put the pieces together, and the magic happened. So, anyway, yeah, back to it. Drop a comment. Let me know what you think. Anything stupid, delete. And don't forget to ultimately subscribe. And I will see you guys soon if you don't see me first. Have a awesome, rockin' day. God bless.